We doing this week, Tits? Ah! Guess Terry's back then.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe where you can. It's good to be back.
Is it?
No, not really.
Not this week.
Went away for a week. Got belted in 2 games.
Yeah, if you could stay there or never go away, either or.
Well, I mean, if I stay there, we probably wouldn't win another game.
Worth it.
Worth it. Fair enough. Good weekend of footy though.
Was it?
No.
It was okay.
Yeah. Origin
More on that
sucks.
I'm so sick of Origin.
Yeah.
Until Wednesday night.
Yeah, I know. Until Wednesday night. Yeah.
Speaking of Origin,
then I'll be fired up. Yeah. What's happened?
Well, Dylan Edwards, after years and years and years of people saying this guy must play, finally got his opportunity and his quad said, you know what? It's not past Teddy's time yet.
Now, I read up on this today, and apparently he was doing extra work. He was making sure that he was fit. He was making sure he was ready for Terry Evans' kicking game. He was ready for Tom Dearden's running game, everything like that. All this says to me is, don't do the extra work.
Yeah.
You got selected, brother.
That's a bad sign. Relax.
You're right there. Just be lazy. Look at us. Look at us.
The world comes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm really disappointed for him.
Yeah.
It was his time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, if Tedesco ever deserved to be picked, it's probably this year. So, in terms of quality, you're not going to lose much.
Look, what was even better is that it's disrupted Penrith's season and it disrupted the Roosters on the weekend.
Double win.
Yeah, double win for everyone.
Quality. Thanks, Dill.
Shame for Dylan Edwards, though, who's been arguably the best player in the competition for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Caelan Palmer won the Dally M last year, but you can't tell me that Dylan Edwards wasn't a class above. It was just, you know, he's got his Clive Churchill and his premiership rings.
Let's be honest,
like that.
it sucks.
But yeah, he's been absolutely amazing.
The big question though, Terry.
Yeah.
If Tedesco comes in and plays okay,
yeah,
Dylan Edwards probably misses a series, right?
I mean, 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to have to say that he's missed game 1. He's probably going to miss game 2.
There you go. I just didn't know it was that serious to be told.
Yeah.
Great research, Dan.
Would you be available for game 3? Probably not.
I don't think it matters. If Tedesco's fit, now it's his spot. You got to knock him out.
The only way that I would say that Dylan Edwards gets game 3 is if they're down 2-0.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, if it's, but what happens now though? Tedesco walks in. Is he the captain or is
it's got to be Tedesco?
Or is it Gerbo?
It's got to be Tedesco. I mean, this is a bloke who's captain, multiple Origins.
But he's going to have number 21 on his back.
Yeah, it's a laughable situation. It really is a shame the way it all came to be, but it is hilarious, which ultimately is what we're all about here on this couch.
Yeah, because one of the Queensland players missed training session. I think it might have been Ben Hunt.
Harry Grant,
that was it.
The mystery Queensland illness.
Yeah, the mystery Queensland illness. And everyone laughed about it, and then Edwards' quad explodes, and all the Queenslanders were like, "Oh yeah, conspiracy." No, his legs actually exploded.
Legit.
So, look, get well soon, Dylan.
It's not good. It's not fun.
You deserve this for what you did to Cronulla, though.
Yeah, completely fair.
Absolutely.
Just before we move on, though, I want to throw another one at you. Over the weekend, all we heard was Mitch Moses this and Mitch Moses that. Mm-hmm. To the point where we had prevalent journos saying, "Oh, put him in." Mm-hmm. Now, for the simple fact that Nicho Hynes has been the best, he was leading the Dally M's when they went behind closed doors, or a point behind Dylan Edwards, I should say. He's been fantastic all year. Mitch Moses had an indifferent start, has been out for like 7 weeks, came back and tore a Sharks team up that looked like they didn't want to be there. Is that enough to make the switch late? Because I don't think it is.
Well, the other thing is they can't make the switch late. Yes. So New South Wales had to go and get permission because they didn't have another fullback in there, and they didn't want to do the shuffle because that would have, if it was you would have ended up with Nicho Hynes at fullback, and you would have had
Burton at 6.
No, it was Kiri. Kiri was there.
Oh, Kiri was there. Yeah.
Which is really weird because Burton, did he get released? He didn't get released to play for the Dogs.
Burton didn't. But
so maybe he is the 18th man.
Yeah, but look,
whatever, right? But you can't just turn around and go, oh look, did we make the mistake of not picking Mitch Moses? Because Moses played on Thursday, he can't go and play on Wednesday now because Hynes has missed. Because that disadvantages the Sharks.
Yeah, it would have really sucked if you're a Shark.
I mean, if Hynes doesn't play well in game 1, or if the Blues lose game 1, I fully expect Mitch Moses to be there for game 2.
The switch will go for sure.
But if they win, it's Hynes to stay. So
what a crazy situation this Origin football, which leads us to our next point, Terry. Mm-hmm. I'm so sick of these rounds. Yep. This week I've seen so many people say, "Oh, the point should be worth 1 point during Origin. Some people have said it should be worth double, which is just ridiculous. I just wanted to say that what goes on my mentions, just no one deserves to see. The only way we get rid of this is shutting the comp down, because outside of an all-time classic between the Dolphins and the Raiders, we're talking a disgusting weekend of football, right? That game single-handedly saved the NRL rather from people like us saying this cannot continue.
I thought the Roosters-Cowboys game was pretty good, despite how dire it was. Yeah, I've always been the believer of Sunday night should have been Origin 1. There should have been no games Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday night should have been Origin 1. Wednesday or Thursday night should be Origin 2, and Sunday night should be Origin 3. So you've got that block. That's
minimal
it.
time,
It's done.
No other elite competition in the world shuts down. Oh, no, they shut down.
Yeah.
The NBA for the All-Stars, they don't play. Oh, we missed a few All-Stars, too bad.
Yeah.
The NFL leave their joke of a situation to the end of the season.
Yeah.
We're the only elite competition in the world. Even the A-League, which I would say isn't elite, shuts down during the Asian Cup because of all the players that are unavailable. It's ridiculous. And it comes up every year and everyone says, yeah, but Origin does this and Origin does that. No, Channel 9 says this and Channel 9 says that.
Yeah.
That's not why. That's what it's about. It's about 3 big ratings, which, I don't know,
And
are worth a lot of money.
You can't tell me as well, like, if you were to turn around and say, okay, Friday night, we're going to shut the competition down, but we're going to have a couple of rep games on there. Friday night, we're going to have Fiji versus Papua New Guinea. Saturday night, we're going to have Samoa versus Tonga. Sunday night, we're going to have New South Wales versus Queensland. And then you have Origin 2 on a Thursday night, and then you have a game either side of it on Wednesday and Friday, and then you have Origin 3 as the standalone on a Sunday. And you just have 2-game series, they're friendlies, whatever, who cares? We've just solved it.
Yeah, but everyone, play devil's advocate, says, but when it went to Sundays, it didn't rate, blah, blah, blah. Okay, people are creatures of habit, right?
Yeah.
If they said, okay, it's a Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, people would adapt and treat it in order to rate exactly the same to a person. If they'd left it at the end of the season when they had the chance and did the Sunday, 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 it would rate exactly the same. The war was different then, it was a one-off. We've seen games, this Monday game might rate really well. But you put Monday nights back and they will go back to no one will be there.
Yeah.
People just...
Come
on, let's... Terry solve the problem. PVL...
Listen to us.
Come on.
Now, the next point. We said we were served up an all-time great game between the Dolphins and the Raiders.
Yep.
And we were also served up an all-time stitch-up by the referee, who I think is the best referee in the competition, Adam G. Now... Jermaine Azarko nailed a field goal.
Yep.
Max Plath turned his body, hits one of the Raiders players, penalty blown. Fair enough. Soft as hell. I didn't even notice it. On the replay, I was squinting. No. Still couldn't see it. Got my other glasses out.
Yeah.
Still couldn't see it.
Say, yeah.
Right? Put both pairs of glasses on.
Still nothing?
Still nothing, right? But penalty. The game-winning field goal in Golden Point, Joe Tarpany clearly sticks his arm out. Same contact on Jeremy Marshall King. Marshall King gets a hand to it, which says to me that if he wasn't disrupted, he gets there and charges it down. So why was that not a penalty? And correct me if I'm wrong, the Dolphins still had a challenge and Adam G wouldn't let him challenge.
I don't think they did, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they burned it earlier. And it was a really bad one because I was covering the game for a mates of ours. Yeah. And I said, challenge. This will take one look over it. I can't remember which way it went. But the video referee checks every field goal and has to clear them.
Yeah.
So he could have looked, and that's what I thought the waiting was. And it was just Adam G chucking some theatrics. They should have looked at that and said, probably exactly the same as the first one.
Yeah.
It's penalty and it's game on. So the fact Wayne Bennett came out and said, where's the apology to my players? And, I thought he handled it pretty well. He's not known for saying much, so I think he said the right thing this time, to his credit. Pretty disappointing. I didn't notice it first until the second replay. I was like, he's touched him. Because it was like, oh my God, it's 88th minute. They both missed 5 field goals. I got caught up in the moment. I dare say so did Adam G.
I think Adam G did as well. And probably because he didn't want to have to deal with Jordan Rapana being a baby who had been a baby for 87 minutes of the game. Completely. Fair play to Rapana. Never kicked a field goal and now he's nailed 2.
He nailed 2.
To be fair, he was brilliant in that game. But Adam G...
Did it cost him Origin?
You need to have a good hard line. I don't think it will because the other referees this year have been so atrocious. Like Gerard Sutton, I think every captain's challenge that he's gone for, apart from the Dominic Young knock on, has been overturned this year. He's absolute bollocks this year, and I don't think Ashley Klein has done himself any favours.
Nope.
Adam G, yeah, look, he's probably the Origin referee, but you bottled that.
Yeah. Well, he's got the mistake out of the way.
Yeah, hopefully.
Good. Clever.
Yeah, if you do that against New South Wales, it's all sweet though.
Sweet,
so.
yeah.
Right, Dan, you've written here luck in football.
Certainly have.
Let's go.
Rugby league is a game of luck.
It is.
End of question.
Yeah.
No, look, the Cronulla. Let's use Cronulla as an example. The Parramatta Eels have been 7 shades of disgusting this season. Mitch Moses comes back.
Gutherson comes back.
Gutherson comes back in a game where they don't have their 2 leaders and their undisputed best player. Parramatta win, everyone laughs. Okay, good. Cowboys run into a Roosters team missing 15 players. That's a game they don't win otherwise. Oh, maybe they do, who knows?
Well, the Cowboys were missing more players than the Roosters though.
But I would say that the Roosters were missing more quality with fairness to both teams. Look, we saw, the Dolphins missing players and Canberra ran into them. There's been injuries. People have beaten Penrith, without Nathan Cleary. Cleary comes back. There's a lot of games that are decided.
The Dogs missing their Origin halfback. Their star 5'8" to Origin as 18th man. He might even get a minute. Viliami kicker. They got to Newcastle, destroy him.
Yeah, you just want to put that on, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I hate Newcastle.
They're missing. Although they've won a couple of games in a row.
They have.
All I'm saying is we get a lot of interactions on the interwebs saying, "Oh, Cronulla get this, they get a soft draw, blah blah blah." All right, imagine playing Manly without Turbo and DCE compared to playing them with.
Yeah.
Imagine we get the Broncos next week off Origin, which I think is a good time to play them, rather than in 6 weeks when Reynolds comes back. They build teams.
Kevy Walters is a big rester after Origin. He's even said, in top 4, once the Broncos are in the top 4, you probably know that they're going to be hard to beat.
So I'm just saying that there's a lot of luck being relied upon. And I would say Cronulla enjoyed a bit of luck because we played some teams when they were below players.
Yeah.
And then, we ran into the only time the Tigers will ever be fired up in the history of the club before or after. And we ran into Parramatta at the literal worst time in the competition.
Yeah.
That's bad luck. But we've had lots of good luck coming up to here.
I mean, the same thing, if you have a look, if Moses and Gutherson are forced to sit another week out, Cronulla go there and belt them.
Yeah, it's probably 40 points.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying that a lot of teams... Now, okay, Penrith won 3 in a row, so I don't care what degree of luck they've had or haven't enjoyed. They're above it.
Yeah.
But these other teams, everything's so close right now that it'll come down to injuries and luck.
And you want to have a look at Cronulla as well, right? They lost on the weekend, and this was the chance for a few teams to catch up on ground on them. The Dolphins didn't capitalise. The Roosters didn't capitalise. The Panthers didn't capitalise. And they only now sit second on there because Melbourne got 2 points off a bye.
Exactly, so
conceded 100 points in 3 weeks and still sitting second.
Still top of the table.
Technically,
it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
but I'm just seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, your team this and your team that." No, your team this and your team that. I can make an argument. I think I will tonight when I go home. So I've got lots of time on my hands now. I'm going to go home and make a point of making every team, their fans go, "Geez, we've been lucky this year."
Except the Tigers.
Oh, well, if you're a Tigers fan, you're out of luck.
Now, another incident that I missed over the weekend due to a slightly delayed flight home from Fiji, Bulla. What happened? What has Reid Mahoney done? What did he do?
He has made the Newcastle Knights his son yet again. Reid Mahoney for 80 minutes was just chirping and rubbing faces and pushing players. With a couple of minutes or a minute to go, there was a bit of a scuffle, and they've run at Mahoney, and Mahoney's just pushed him away. And he said something to Saifidi, and Saifidi's looked. The ref is right here.
Pushed him in the back first.
And he's leaned in and made head contact. Yeah, it's not a headbutt per se, but he's headbutted him.
Yeah.
And Reid Mahoney's laughing, and he's clapped him off. He's just to say, you are so dumb.
Yeah.
You fell for this. The game's over, and you're going to be suspended and lose party or match fee and be sin bin for being an idiot. The second time he's done it this year against the same team.
Do you want to know something? As a detriment to the Newcastle Knights, Jacob Saifidi is actually allowed to play next week.
Oh,
they didn't suspend him.
That's terrible. Maybe that was...
He got a $3,000. They said, you know what's worse for Newcastle? You playing.
So Andrew Johns, who, pretty handy footballer in his day, and I actually seen quite a bit. So shout out to, whatever he is, the 7th or 8th. He's a big fan of the show. He said, I hate it. I hate this. someone just needs to put one on his chin. I miss the day's wear. Reed Mahoney knows the rules very well, and he knows that, okay, someone might punch him. They're not going to get a good shot in, and he's got Preston and he's got all these big boys around him. And I dare say, I think he's cheeky enough to have learnt to throw. But he knows if I cop one, they're going to get 10 minutes or you're going to get sent off. I think he's run the numbers and he's come out and he said,
luck favours the brave, right? We were just talking about it there. Mahoney knows that if he can get someone to headbutt him, punch him, do something, come third man in at him, you're going, right? You're going.
And then he waves them off.
Yeah, anyway, the only good thing this time that the referee didn't do was bin Mahoney as well. Because Saifidi probably would have been waiting. I reckon at the time they binned him, Mahoney went up and said, actually, can you just leave me on the field?
Please, give me a few minutes. He's really huge.
Yeah. Look,
I love it, mate. I'm a fan.
I've got to say this. The Dogs love a pesty hooker with a headgear.
Yeah, they do.
Because Michael Ennis, then they had no one for a period of time.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
They've got Reed Mahoney doing the same job. Unreal.
I'm a fan. I've got to say,
I am a fan of Reed.
I love these little blokes that just know they can pester. There's going to be a day where someone just loses it and flattens him. But until then.
You know what? This is like primed for Jared Warrior-Hargraves when they play the Dogs, whenever they play the Dogs again. He's like, I'm retiring. What's a 4-week suspension? Whack. Finals. Dogs are up by 20, games about to get over. Oh, well, whack. You're gone, mate.
I dare say Reed would wear that as a badge of honour too.
People are keeping receipts as to when can I punch him, and it doesn't matter, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
I love Reed Mahoney. Terry.
Don't talk to me, Daniel.
Well, I'm going to anyways. Time to talk some black, white and blue. Now, as always, Fins Up Podcast on Spotify for the full rundown. You missed last week's show, so you didn't get to break down the Penrith loss. What are your thoughts, the floor is yours, about the last 2 weeks?
Right. I will say going into the Penrith game, we overhyped that too much. I think the players overhyped it too much. And on the night, Penrith came out fired up and Cronulla just proverbially pooped the bed, right? And once they realised they couldn't wrestle that momentum back, it was just damage control, and the damage was out of control at that point there. That's all you can say about it. Look, I'm going to say this in all honesty. I was in Fiji, and the minute it got to 18-0, I turned it off. That was it. I just relied on text messages from you guys, and at halftime I said we were scared of Penrith. And it honestly looked like it. It's a different game if Sione Katoa makes that catch. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Probably only lose by 38.
Yeah, Jerome Luai played an incredible game.
Lights out.
An incredible game.
Lights out football.
Yeah, that was a performance and a half from there. And the Penrith forwards, like, I looked at the benches, and in all honesty, I got hyped up on how good our bench had been this year. At one point in the game, in the second half, I saw a thing that we'd only had 4 sets of 6 and we'd only made 700 metres for the game. Our back 5 normally do 1,000 metres between them. Yeah, terrible. And I think the scars of that came into Parramatta. I think I don't want to blame the turnaround.
Can be good and bad.
Yeah, it can be, because Parramatta had the same turnaround, right? But you're coming into a point where, as you said just before, Parramatta get their 2 leaders back, Cronulla lose their 2 leaders. Parramatta get their best player and a top 5 halfback in the competition back, and Cronulla lose their best player and a top 5 player in the competition back. They lost him, sorry. Again, there was a period of time Cronulla scored the try, didn't make a mistake, but just stupid penalties. Absolute stupid penalties by players who need to know better. Kaeliro looks a shadow of the player he'd been for the last 4 weeks. I think it's just caught up with them. They get a bit of a breather now.
Yeah, true. Long turnaround, which is good.
And I think it's all going to depend on how McInnes and Hines pull up next week as to how they go up to Brisbane. Now, I jokingly said we've only lost to Western Sydney teams. We should be all right in Brisbane. But if this effort and energy goes up to Brisbane, we're in serious trouble.
Yeah, we are.
We are?
Oh, look, you pretty much summed it up. The Penrith game, and those who heard me the last few weeks, or last week and a half rather, you lose to Penrith after winning 6 or 7 in a row. You know, it's easy to stay positive.
Yep.
Losing to Parramatta, not so much.
It's hard.
Again, context matters. We were missing Nico, we were missing McInnes. They got their 2 best players back, or 2 of their 3 best players back. And, we played them on a short turnaround, which I actually thought was good because you don't want to dwell on the crap of the 42-0 loss. You play them out there on a Thursday night. Thursday night games are notoriously hard to tip too. I don't know what it is about the Thursday night, but they can go either way.
The other thing as well is Cronulla get themselves back into the game 28-22.
Yep.
And Hamlin Uele makes the first and only mistake that Cronulla make in the game, and they can't defend their line. There's still time to go in this game. You defend your line, you've got all that momentum, and they just couldn't defend the line.
Cronulla could have won that game. The Penrith, I put as an aberration.
Yeah.
Everyone was so bad that you look at it and you think, that's just, there's nothing went right. It's better than scoring 20 late points and going, why couldn't we do it? There was nothing we could have done. Penrith were going to flog us under any circumstance. A media could have hit and the Penrith players could have said, wait, just give us half an hour. And the media would have said, you know what? Okay. They were in that sort of mood. Parramatta was very, very frightening. I'm only not whooshering right now because of the start we've had. I think we've played so far beyond what we should or could have that I'm not angry yet. But there were some signs in that Parramatta game where you drop the ball and you were sure they were going to score. You give away a penalty, you're sure they're going to score. I saw some stuff from Blake Brayley that I was like, uh-oh, because that's all we saw last year. We saw him, we had all the momentum, we were running into a stiff breeze, and he's kicked early and it was a terrible kick.
Yep.
He gave away a penalty and then a 6 again, and then a bloke ran straight over the top of him. Okay, look, Kailiro, that first missed tackle was disgusting. He knew it. It's the first time he's done that in first grade. He's a rookie with 6 or 7 games. It's going to happen. Mark Gasnier had bad football games. People seem to have forgotten.
That's not the try that concerned me the most, though. The Junior Paulo try.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
There were
4 of
7
them
people
there.
on him.
Okay, people gave Kennedy crap all night. One, he put his body on the line.
For Sevo, yeah.
And there weren't no one there. And I've got something very negative to say in a minute.
Hold on a second. I'll say this. There was a fullback who put his body on the line for Mike Sevo and missed 2 weeks with a concussion. That was James Tedesco.
Yeah, and he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Going back, though, that Paulo try, the way Brayley went in and slapped and Trindle went in and he didn't care, or it was disgusting. But for me, the most, I won't say, I was pretty angry, Terry, was when Sevo ran through, Jesse Raymond stopped.
Yeah.
And he looked and he went, and then Kennedy got whacked and Ramian sort of kicked up and almost got to Sevo. If he doesn't give up, Kennedy holds him up enough that Ramian's in play. Now, he probably doesn't stop him, to be fair, but the fact that he didn't, they should look at him and say, you are lucky we don't have another centre who can come in this week, and Talakai's too far gone to go in, because I'd be dropping him. That would be the first thing I would show.
There is another centre in New South Wales Cup who's been absolutely tearing it up. Yeah, Chris Fowler.
Yeah, look, yes, but not yet. But
not yet.
The Ramian, I don't know, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. He gives up on the play, and I was blowing up deluxe because, Kennedy put himself on the line and almost died to try and save. Okay, look, let's be honest, he was never stopping him. He knew it. His spirit left his body when contact was made, but he stood there. Ramian gave up. Those are 2 huge different things. All I saw was people going, Kennedy this, Kennedy that. 1, he was the best player on the field. 2, he put his literal life on the line, while our bigger and better players, with all due respect, were jogging back and giving up. That's what frustrated me.
Or having 7 people there and then turn around and go, well, why didn't Kennedy hold Paulo up? Why didn't the other 7 people stop him 10 metres out?
It was embarrassing in that regard. Now, moving on, Terry, to the next point here. The last few weeks, you and I have been very positive on our big men, the forwards. I, over the last 2 weeks, have noticed something that's become really, really obvious. If our back 5 don't make a lot of metres, we've got no go forward. To the fact that if they're not playing lights out football and making 160, 170 metres, we just don't go anywhere.
No, I think there's 2 players that I watched that Parramatta game from start to finish. I don't know why I didn't turn it off. There's 2 players for mine who look like they really need a rest right now. Now, I love him. I think he's a prop for the future, and I'm glad we've picked up his option. But Tom Hazelton, he doesn't need a stint in reserves. He needs a rest. Yep. He absolutely needs a rest. And Ronaldo Mulatalo doesn't need a stint in reserves. He needs a rest. He is like a battering ram at the moment who has run out of legs, and maybe not the second game of your NRL career to be in Brisbane, but the week after we play the Dolphins at home. Maybe that's another game for Sandstone Street.
Again.
But I definitely think that Tom Hazelton is due a rest. I've been really big on him this year, but Oregon Kaufusi the last 2 weeks has been really, really disappointing. I think Royce Hunt has been sensational off the bench the last 2 weeks.
He came out with a chip on his shoulders.
Mate, he was putting some shots on. And, of course, Talakai has been absolutely sensational. I think there's a quick rotation you can make, maybe for the Brisbane game, that if Cam McInnes is going to back up, that you can start him on the bench. You could put Siffer at lock. You could start Royce Hunt. And you get a bit of aggression from the get-go. I love Jack Williams. He's one of my favourite players. He can't start a game of football.
No, we lose so much with him.
We lose so much.
He just can't make that jump. I 100% agree with Tom.
If we start to lose momentum in the first 20 minutes, that's when you bring Jack Williams on. But Jack Williams isn't the kind of player that if we lose momentum in the first 20 minutes and you're like, we've still got another 20 to go, Jack. You've lost the best part of him.
It's just not. He and Talakai are impact players. And Talakai's played enough football that you can take that risk starting him. Look, Hazelton, 100%.
He needs a breather.
Kaufusi, look, he's been good the last few weeks, so I don't want to go too hard. But he's looked, unfortunately, like the Kaufusi of old, and I don't mean to make fun, but he was pretty poor last year by his own admission. I'm at the point now that if Hamlin Ueli can't start, I'm not picking him. Because he came out and he scored a ripper of a try, or set up a try. He had the hit up before, then was quick play the ball.
And the flick pass.
Yeah, that was it, the flick pass. That was it. It was fantastic. And he looked great, and then he got hit, and he dropped the ball, and his head dropped, and he was useless.
He didn't even get hit. He just dropped the ball.
He is our best prop in terms of ceiling.
Yeah.
Him playing 15-minute spells is just wasting everyone's time. He's got to start, or he's not fit enough. You bring Huge Tukes in. Because even when we were getting smashed a couple of weeks ago, Huge came on and he, put his body on the line, and then we overcame and ended up beating the Roosters. I know, a bit of coincidence. I just think that Ueli and Toby are our best two props, and it's at a point where you got to start one.
Yep.
I don't care which, do it. If you ask me now which prop's missing out at full strength, it's Toby Rudolph.
Yeah.
He looks gassed, he looks small, and I love the guy, so I don't like to bag him. And I know it's a bit hypocritical to have him on all the time, yet bag him. But he's just not up to it right now. Obviously, he's not playing at 100%. Give him a week or two at Newtown. Because there's a bloke down there who came back and was one of the best on field, Jesse Colquhoun. Again, I don't like throwing young kids in, but this is a bloke who is in our top 17, undisputedly, and can play a whole heap of positions. If McInnes can't back up, I'm picking Colquhoun this week.
There's also another player who I'd like to say, I'm not off him yet, but I'm getting off him, and that is Britton Nickera. He's got his contract. He was sensational last year, and we've seen nothing from him this year. It's like, if you need a spell, I'm putting Jesse there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not, players need spells. If you miss a game, it's not, it's over, it's career. Just have a rest.
Yeah.
Put your feet up. Jess Colquhoun, rip in. If we get beaten by Brisbane, whatever, Brisbane's a good team. Then bring him back, and I guarantee he's going to come in and rip in. The other night, I think Hazelton had 25 metres or 35 metres?
34 metres.
Yeah. Kaufusi had similar.
50-something. I think Nickera had like 40.
Yeah, and Teague Wilton had 115.
Yeah.
And he's the youngest by a long way.
Yeah.
I think he and Tom are roughly the same on games.
And it was the captain's knock.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Teague Wilton shouldn't be leading. He's not a big body like these blokes. Shout out to Teague, who I thought was our best forward by a long, long way the other night.
Well, I mean, Teague Wilton's a bigger body than Britton Nickera, but Nickera is a New Zealand international.
Yeah, he's played, 100 more football games.
And he's the one who should be there going, right, we're getting a little bit pantsy.
Get on my back, let's go.
He doesn't have that in him.
He doesn't, unfortunately. During the week, I went into the groups because I'm like, maybe I'm being unfair here. They want Kennedy shot into the sun. They want Teague Wilton thrown to the Wolves. And I'm like, they were two of our best players the other night, and they played with heart, whereas our better players didn't.
Yeah.
Sir Fitz this week, I know he doesn't do it publicly, has to ream them and say the last 2 weeks weren't good enough. Again, acceptable. I'm not jumping to a conclusion of sack everyone, make mass changes. We've seen what we can do now. It's frustrated me to the point, I'd rather be 6-6 than 10-2 or whatever we are, and thinking, God, what could have been? If we don't go well from here, we've wasted that start. I kind of wish I didn't laugh at South Sydney doing the same thing last year.
Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
It's time for some top sport tips. good friends at Top Sport, are going to match
Great friends.
dollar for dollar on everything that we have got wrong this year. And just to let you know, I went 0 from 5 this week. Dan went 3 from 5.
For the kids.
To give you an update, my 5-point gap has diminished. I think I'm maybe a point in front. I'm not sure. It could be level.
Not for long.
Not for long. But Dan caught up this week as well. So we'll have the updates. We'll have a full updated round next weekend. I've just got back from Fiji. I apologise. I don't have my laptop on me. But this week, we are going to include the 2 Origin games into our round because we're on a shortened round.
Yeah, it's fair. I like it.
It is fair. Starting Wednesday night,
Yep.
Queensland, New South Wales. Where's this game being played?
Accor Stadium.
It is.
It is, yeah. It's in, New
It's
South
in
Wales,
Sydney.
Which is
Okay.
why it's a must-win for the Blues.
It is a must-win for the Blues. Tedesco comes in. We've already spoken about this at length.
Queensland slight favourites.
Are they?
They were last time I checked.
They shouldn't be.
No, they should.
They shouldn't be.
They should.
Not
be
in New
favourites.
South Wales. They shouldn't be.
Oh, Mate, you win 50 series in a row, you're going to be favourites.
I'm going to tip the Blues.
Well, I'm going to tip Queensland then. What the hey?
Good. Very good.
It'll be a fun game.
It'll be a good game.
But right now, couldn't care less.
Yeah, couldn't care less at all. It's very disruptive. Now, that's not the only Origin game we have. Thursday night, game 2 of the series.
Series is on the line.
New South Wales went up to Queensland, took a massive dump on them, and said, we're bringing this game back. Where's this game being played?
A sold-out Newcastle Stadium.
Sold out Newcastle
The
Stadium.
record crowd will be broken, smashed.
Very good. As
be
it
fun.
should be.
Yeah, it should be.
As it should be, because Newcastle's football team sucks. Their A-League team sucks. They got nothing else going for it. Get out there and watch some
The
footy.
NRLW team, back-to-back
Yeah.
defending premiers.
Yeah, so you should
going
get
for
out.
three-peat. So
You should get out there. This is the last time you see Caitlin Johnson win something.
Ah, yeah.
Hey, no, they'll probably win it again this year.
Probably.
Who cares? Look, I've got to pick Queensland in this one.
Well, I'm going to go the Blues.
Yeah, cool.
The Jamie Chapman-led Blues.
Let's go. That'll be fun.
It will be fun.
That will be fun.
Huge crowd, really excited.
Now, coming off the highs of State of Origin, we're going to the lows of Friday Night Football and why Channel 9 decided this game is the Friday night game they wanted. I don't know. The St George Illawarra Dragons are hosting the West Tigers on primetime Friday night footy. This isn't a 6 o'clock game, is it?
It doesn't make sense. Maybe they thought it was. They're like, oh, we'll pick for Fox. Oh, we got stuck with this?
This
Yeah,
this
this is legit.
There's only one Friday night game and it's Dragons Tigers.
All I can think is that Channel 9 saw this game and thought, okay, 4 fan bases, because they're... you
Yeah,
know,
man, it's very good.
maybe that's it. But I bet you they've looked since and gone,
Like, this game shouldn't even be 6 o'clock Friday. This game should be played at 2:30 on a Monday
On Pluto.
in Mudgee.
yeah, yuck.
Like,
Who's him?
oh, God, the Dragons.
Yeah, me too.
Super Saturday kicks us off. Titans versus
All
the...
better games of
Yeah.
the Friday night.
Yeah, Titans versus the Bunnies. This is going to be fun. The Bunnies got to win, got to buy.
Yep.
That's all they can ask for under Ben Hornby.
Yep.
Get the win, get the buy. They go up to the Gold Coast, still missing a heap of players, still playing some pretty good footy. I don't think the Titans are going to have enough to win this game. I'm going to tip the Bunnies in this one.
I'm going to go the Titans then
Yeah,
for a
sweet.
bit of rivalry. Plus, I think David Fafita is going to be pretty miffed that he missed out on Origin.
Yeah, look, Fafita, Latrell, whoever I know they don't mark up against each other, but whoever wins that battle on the field goes a long way to winning the game for them.
That'll do.
As cliche as it sounds, I think the Rabbits are going to dig themselves, they're going to burrow themselves out of this hole. I
nice.
like that, yeah.
Nice.
They burrowed themselves into a hole,
No,
and now they're digging up stupid. That's what they're doing. 5:30, we have the North Queensland Cowboys hosting the New Zealand Warriors. A Warriors team who has been so down on troops that have won 2 games. Get a couple of players back. Adam Fanua-Blake will be back. Not sure if Sean Johnson will be back yet.
Who knows? Tohu Harris.
Tohu Harris, yeah, unsure.
Michael
on him as well.
Hochstar.
Very good player. The Cowboys, look, it depends on how many players back up from Origin for them. Went down to Sydney, won a game of football they probably shouldn't have. Scott Drinkwater was sensational in that game. It's hard to tip against the Wars in this one.
Is it?
It is, which is why I'm going to do it.
Oh,
no,
you
I'm
are?
not. Yes, I don't know. Who are you tipping?
No, you pick one. I was going to go the other.
No, yes, I'll do that. Who are you picking?
Look, in the battle of the former Sharks halfbacks, I'm going to go with the.
I'm going the Warriors.
All right, well, I'll go the Cowboys then. Fantastic.
And then 7:30, we have the Broncos.
I'm not talking this game up.
Nah, Broncos versus the Sharks.
Last time I did that, I paid dearly.
Again, it's going to be how many Origin players back up, who's going to back up for the Sharks.
It's going to be a stinker.
They need to turn their defence around. They're,
Yeah, Brisbane can score plenty of points.
Yeah, and if Cronulla think they're going to go there and outscore the Broncos.
Well, last year we were very confident of beating Brisbane coming off Origin. They pantsed us at home. So that says to me Brisbane are going to do it. Although I've been tipping against the Sharks the last few weeks and it hasn't been working. So let's go Cronulla.
I'm going to tip the Broncos.
Good.
Sweet.
Good.
Sunday afternoon starts with the Melbourne Storm hosting the Newcastle Knights. Now, the Storm, top of the comp.
Yep.
Look, this football club is a goddamn anomaly.
Yeah, they suck. I hate them.
The Knights, they suck. I hate them. They were dreadful, and I can't see a turnaround for them anytime soon.
No, they need a halfback.
Which is great. I'm going to pick Melbourne to win this and win it comfortably.
Yeah, I'll go Melbourne. I like to put a bit of a tension here, but it can't be done. Newcastle, no good.
Sunday afternoon, later game, the Penrith Panthers are hosting Manly. Penrith will get their troops back. Manly, depending on how it goes with DCE, Olakuatu as well.
I'm glad this is a Sunday game because it gives them time to get them back.
Gives them time. With that being said, back at Penrith Park, they don't lose too many games there and they don't lose back-to-back games there. I am picking Penrith.
Yeah, everything says Penrith. So I'll listen to and I'll go Penrith.
Monday afternoon, the Canterbury Bulldogs are hosting the Parramatta Eels. Now, the Dogs are the only home team undefeated.
They are, yes. Incredible defensive record. Incredible. You wouldn't have got me saying that.
Incredible defensive. They found a formula. They're firing under Serraldo. This, for me, this has come a year too early. I thought next year was going to be the year you were really going to see the Dogs firing. But it's great. They're playing some really, really good footy.
It's entertaining.
And I think it was really good as well to see when Connor Tracy got binned that they didn't drop their heads. They went about their business. I thought it was really smart bringing Aldo Carr into the draft team this week.
And then he himself,
and it was a bye.
Yeah. Well,
so, whatever. I don't see a way that the Eels can play as good as they did 2 weeks in a row.
So you're tipping the Bulldogs?
Bulldogs.
Good.
I'm going to tip the Bulldogs.
Here's why you're wrong.
Okay.
It's the King's birthday. And the King will rise in King Gutho in I think it's his 200th game or something. There was something special, maybe 250th. He's about 105. He'll be best player of the game, of the weekend, of the millennium, as the Eels win 20-10. I don't know. I look forward to this game.
Yeah.
This game, traditionally, is very, very good. But the King will rise again.
I'll just be getting off a plane from Brisbane when this game kicks off. And no, I'm not going up to watch the Sharks Broncos. I'm going up for a wedding.
No. Well.
Yeah, there you go. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe where you can. When you're watching this on the YouTube channel, make sure you give us a like. It helps promote us across everywhere you can.
Takes less than a second.
Yeah.
If not, you're thieving content.
If you're on Twitter, make sure you give it a like and a retweet as well, just to get us above there if you can. We appreciate all the support.
Content thieves.
Shut up, Dan.
No, look, thank you. It's good to have you back too, Terry.
I missed you.